Bem-vindos a mais um episódio do Don't Panic, It's Organic, na nossa playlist Hanging with the Pros. Essa semana vamos entrevistar uma pessoa muito especial. Esse cara tem 15 anos de experiência em SEO, trabalhando com times remotos, trabalha com o pessoal na Índia, é uma referência em link building no UK, vai trazer coisas muito interessantes para a gente, e é mais um amigo, irmão, que a família SEMrush me apresentou, tive a oportunidade de conhecer em eventos fora do país. Com vocês, Gareth Hoyle. Gareth, welcome to the show, mate. Thank you very much for accepting this invitation, and please introduce yourself for the Brazilian SEO community.
Kind words. Thank you for having me on. Good to see you after so many months stuck on Plague Island. So yeah, we're missing you. You need to come home. You are an honorary Brit, my friend. So,
thank you.
Yeah. As I'd say, I'm Gareth. I've been working in SEO and search for 15 or so years. I have built my company up to 300 members of staff. Now we are just 20 because things change. And that's going to be a theme of our discussion today, I think, is change and being adaptable to change and willing to change. Because if you don't change, you are going to die in this industry. So we are making the same revenue, the same profits, but 20 people selling skilled services rather than 300 people tapping the keys. So yeah, I like yourself, Philippe, like to travel around the world and have good conversations about work in person with a nice glass of wine or a beer. But now we shout at our webcams for 7 hours a day. So
Yeah. Well,
this is as good as it's getting.
Don't like that, right? No, I think it's like we just went back to a few years before, right?
I think it would be nice to have hybrid. Like, as much as I'm happy to speak to you on this webcam, I would also be happy to be enjoying a cold beer in Brazil with you, mate. So this will change soon.
Oh, yeah, you bet. And the invitation is already there, you know, whenever you want to come down and visit us, more than welcome. Now I'm in Florianopolis, a very nice place. We had some of our friends down here before. Judith Lewis, she was down here. I wasn't living here. She came to speak at an event. Mary Haynes as well. So it's a very, very nice place. One of the safest in Brazil, if I may say. It's an island. We have 42 beaches here, mate, to visit, to drink, to surf. You know, we can have a lot of fun here. But going back to Gareth's.
Let's go and eat some fish. Happy days.
Yeah. Mate, everybody that I come across in the SEO industry, they have a different background that led them to SEO. How did SEO enter your professional life or your life as a whole?
Yeah, so where do I begin here? So in around year 2000, I was working in a bathroom retail store. And I would spend all day with the customer. We would design the bathroom, choose all the different components. And then sometimes they wouldn't buy from me. And I was chasing them up. Why are you not buying what we discussed? And they found it online cheaper. Even 20 years ago, this was happening. Now we call it showrooming. Now, back then, there was no term for it. So I saw the business I was working for, we didn't even have a website. So I was worried for the owner because this internet thing isn't going away. You know, at the time, maybe my internet experience was asking girls on AOL for ASL, if you remember those days.
Yeah, AOL, definitely.
Well, even this is what teenage boys would do on the internet. So I saw the decline in the business that I was working in. And I thought that I don't want my career to go into this decline mode. So I decided to go to university here in the UK and I studied e-business. So I'm a business guy, but what university taught me was HTML. And it taught me marketing. It taught me about payment gateways. And then during my final year at university, we were instructed to go to do a project where we had to go and find a business, make them a new website, try and do the online marketing for them. And I thought, hang on, why would I make somebody else a business? I should make myself a business. So I made a website, long dead now. Maybe I don't even own the domain anymore. But it was selling tiles, so like bathroom flooring. So I used my old contacts from my old job to buy the products cheap. And then I tried to sell them online. The business was a disaster because you are talking a pallet of tiles. They're so heavy to move around the country. Like if they arrive broke, then you have insurance issues. But what it did teach me was that I can make a website and that I can get the website to rank for granite tiles or marble tiles, whatever the stock we had at the time. And it was off the back of this that I thought, this is good. Like people are getting more comfortable with putting their credit card number into web pages. So commerce is only going to get bigger and bigger. So I started a small agency. We were called HD Designs at the time. It was so long ago, HD TVs just came out. So we went with HD Designs. This is like 2004, 2005 or something. And we were doing with web design is what we were trying to do. We were doing some stuff for ourselves, and we made a few platforms for people to we did all sorts. But what we also did, we sold customers websites. But what I came to the conclusion of, because I'm the business guy, is when you sell someone a website, you get paid once and then just a small retainer ongoing. But if you can sell them SEO, then every month we must do something to beat the algorithm or to create fresh content, fresh links. And for me, this seemed like, because I was always in charge of sales, this was always like, I can sell to this customer once and maybe get 12 months of revenue from them. Whereas if we're just making the websites, we get a few thousand for the website and then £50 a month for the marketing. So that is kind of, so I suppose the simple answer is I did it for money, but also I like the game. Honestly, the game for me now, I mean, it's very easy to say this now. We've had a good agency for 15 years, have a few pounds in the bank, but the money will come and go. Don't worry about that. Just be the best at what you do. Like if you are the best link builder or the best technical SEO, or you are an expert at schema or something like this, you will always have the ability to make money because everybody is going to need these skills going forward. Like everybody is so obsessed with Python and all these different coding languages. Don't get carried away. Just like if you can make a WordPress website and understand the basics of SEO, you will never be poor. Like I'm sorry, but I stand by that fact. Like even if you just go around your local neighborhood and make small business websites for $1,000, like that is, you will never be poor. I stand by it. And that's what I believe. So yeah, I got into it because I saw the potential, I saw the growth that was coming, especially around SEO and Google, because I saw we had so many different search engines here in the UK, they're all gone. And now Google is obviously 90% of our market share in the UK. And it just interests me, honestly, it's like you are number one and I am number two. I'm coming to get you.
Yeah,
I'm
that competitive. I think that's why I love SEO, because I'm so competitive, you know. If I'm on the traffic light and I look to the guy next to me and say, I'm going to be faster than you, you know, and SEO is just about that, you know, I can't control it. That I try to, because that what I said, hey, but this is what motivates me. I'm a competitive guy. Obviously, I don't win all the time, but as part of being competitive or competing. But yeah, I like that. That's what motivates me, trying to be the best as I can all the time. And it's funny, Gareth, that you mentioned about your first venture with the website selling tiles. I have a similar experience when I was living in Spain, started working with THUK before Hedgehog. I was living in Spain. I used to travel a bit and so on. And this guy in Spain approached me to, oh, you're working with this SEO thing, internet and so on. And I said, yes. He said, my brother owns this company in the UK called Gallery Fireplaces. I want to import some of them and try to sell it in Spain, you know, those stoves and so on. Well, we built the website, start ranking, no sales. Why? Who wants stoves in Spain? It was like, you know, I didn't work right.
Ice in Iceland.
I didn't work right, but it didn't really kind of like, it wasn't that target audience, but that's cool. And you said a few things there. From when you started about what, 15, 20 years ago, how much the game has changed, Gareth, or still very much the same in SEO, obviously?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the best way for me to put this, everything has changed, but everything is the same. So we still need good technical foundations. So fast-loading website, clean code, taking advantage of things like schema, although there wasn't much schema back in the day. But even then, look, let's go back to 101, each page having unique title tag. Like, remember, before SEO was a big industry, most CMSs you would assign the title tag to the whole site unless you went and manually edited it. So don't forget, we are talking in the world of meta keywords here. So like, we're going back a long time. So technical SEO has always been there. Like the site should load fast. It should be clean. The design, like CRO, has not changed. Like of course, we didn't have things like Hotjar where we can do screen recordings, but at the same time, we still know that we need to make the buy it now button a different color so that the user knows where to click. We have always needed content on our website. Now, in the old days, I'm not that old, I'm only 40, but in the old days, it was keyword stuffing like, hey, you want to buy my link building? Welcome to Manual Link Building. We are providing link building services to you in the UK and the US. Still need link building? Not bored of the word link building yet? We're going to rank for link building. It's just bullshit.
Classic.
Well, but you know what? It worked. And you know what? Even more so if I make it white on white. So, you know, we still see every now and again small local businesses in small towns in the UK that will rank through this rubbish because there is no competition. But anything where there is competition, then you need quality content that answers the intent of the searcher, that helps guide the searcher through the purchase cycle. If it's an informational blog, maybe they're not ready to buy yet, but they want to know what the options are. If it's a category page, they are ready to buy, but they don't know which individual product they want. So again, we are always creating content. It's just that we are creating better content now. And then the third prong of SEO alongside technical and content, links, of course. And I think links is probably my biggest area of expertise within. I can hold my own at coding and writing, but links are my area. And I think this is the thing that has changed fundamentally. Now, obviously, Google is getting cleverer and cleverer every day, every minute, every hour. The AI stuff that they're bringing in, the way that they view authority, and I know we want to speak about EAT later, so I won't touch on that too much. The links still matter, big time. I'm not so familiar with the Brazilian SERPs, but I know that in the Portuguese language and in Portugal, where I have a house, it's a lot easier to rank than English language, because I think all of the algorithm is tested or honed on English language, which is probably the most searches in the world anyway, in Google anyway, because we can discount China. So, I mean, how links have changed. Well, we used to sell 50 social bookmarks for £20. Like, I have no idea whether these things worked or not, but everybody you can get a link off Dig and Spin and all these.
You just mentioned something that is like my early days in SEO were all about that, you know, writing an article, sending to Dig, accessing my peers, my list of contacts through Gmail and so on. Oh, could you dig in? I'll dig yours, and you stumble upon Reddit. Reddit was coming up at the time.
Like networks of accounts. Like we, at one point, like we had 300 employees. Each employee had Gmail account that was validated and used every day. Dig accounts, Vin accounts, that's what we did. It was a volume game. It was web directories, like these most rubbish websites in the world. Like they are, so like we have, we were doing these spam links, volume links, like writing one article, putting it on 300 websites with do follow links, and all the anchor text is just like SEO
you
Brazil.
Remember Article Robot? Or similar article spinning.
For writing the
article
concept.
spinning. You had one article. You said, how many versions do you want? 300, and it was all done and submitted to. It was crazy, wasn't it?
But it worked, and you know what? Like we could deliver good results for people for a few £100s a month, and they were winning. But again, I don't think in our infancy we realized the value that we were bringing to the businesses we were working with. Like, you can pay me 200 GBP a month, and I will get you to number one for a commercial term that is going to pay you and pay you and pay you all the way till 2012 when Penguin came. Penguin turned my business on its head. It turned probably your business on its head. It turned most SEO businesses upside down and inside out.
I think those filters came up to kind of like raise the bar. I have it's not a theory, because if you really analyze it, I think since Panda 2011 roughly, then Penguin, then all these updates that Google started kind of like confirming or pre-announcing, they all led us, the SEO industry, to this is how you should be working with SEO. Like, do link building, but do it with quality, kind of thing. Don't you see the same way?
I agree. Yeah, I think that they needed to grow up. We needed to grow up as well. Like we all of a sudden. Well, in a way, it still is the Wild West in SEO. Like we run a lot of PPC campaigns as well. I'm not suggesting that Google is any more useful for us with PPC help, but in the SEO days, nothing, like you have to just guess and try and fix it. Whereas now with link building, so with Penguin, we have the mantra made for SEO, it has to go. Like if that website is only existing for the purpose of SEO, it's risky. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, and you can still get really good results using PBN and some niche directories, but it's all about your risk appetite. And if you're trying to build a brand, and again, this is leading us into the EAT conversation again, but if you're trying to build a brand online, like you shouldn't be buying bullshit links, for want of a better term. So I swear a lot, guys, sorry.
Don't worry, there are no cuts here. We can tell people off.
There are better ways of spending your time and effort. So nowadays, although we still use industry metrics, before everybody was obsessed about DA. Now I'm obsessed about traffic. Like, if the site getting traffic, is it getting more and more traffic every month? Is the traffic coming from organic Google? Like I want, if I'm placing a guest post on the website, will it rank? Like, will the guest post rank for the long tail? Even if the guest post website won't rank for maybe a slightly shortened article title, it's probably risky, and it's not worth doing. So we still build links for our clients. We build a lot of links, and we work with communities and again, real websites, real owners, real audiences. At the risk of offending my South Asian colleagues, but when you are going to milliesmummiesblog.com, and then I'm doing the PayPal and it goes to Mohammed someone, like that is a red flag. Like that is somebody that bought a dropped domain and just resurrected an old mummy blog. So while we were fooled once because we thought it was a good mummy blog, we wouldn't work with it again because that site exists for SEO now. a lot of the time though, we're doing digital PR, whatever we want to call it. We're doing surveys, we're doing listicles, we're doing link gap analysis. Like none of, you know what we have a lot of now? Tools that understand link building more. Like the dynamic link building tools that SEMrush give us. And again, hopefully you can share with your audience an article that I'll send to you that I wrote for Search Engine Journal for SEMrush on that. And we have so much information available to us today about what our competitors are doing that we shouldn't need to take so many shortcuts. And I remember a stat, I'm sure it was Marcus Tober, like a long time ago, said 89% of the websites that ranked in 2011 don't rank today. And how much of that is the fault of SEOs? I don't know. But of course, when you're working with when you're working with the customers, do you want to rank today for 500 or tomorrow for 5,000? And I tell you now which option 99% of people chose, the cheap option. But maybe we can look back in hindsight and think that wasn't the right option. It was what, maybe we were blind. Maybe we were blind. Maybe we didn't realize how cutting the changes would be. I mean, and not even just on the links, on like you alluded to before with Panda. Like, I remember my first ever website on Gareth Hoyle was I wrote a database script with 2,000 county cities in the UK. And like 5 services, SEO, PPC, online marketing, internet advertising, and just wrote variables into, and all of a sudden we were outranking all these big website. I mean, in these days, it was mainly web design agencies that were doing SEO rather than like dedicated SEO like we have now. But we have all these, what we would consider to be like our peers that were ranking for like SEO Manchester, things like that. And then all of a sudden, here I was in my bedroom at home, like I've not moved far. Here I am still at my house at home working. So it's better now. It's harder, it's more expensive, it takes longer, but I genuinely believe that with a real link building campaign now, you will get referring traffic that could convert. Like, I think that we were working with fashion bloggers for a few years, and we saw the sales coming. Like, we would gift them the clothing. They would either do a wear or a flat lay post and link through to our client, obviously, whether it's a category or the product. But we could actually see in analytics that we're selling products. Like the extra bonus of the link building is that we are making sales. And really, if you think that, and I think this leads quite nicely into our next question, if you think about where Google is heading, it wants to give the right content to the right people at the right time. And whilst it's slightly different, we do think that if we're placing our clients' content on websites that are sending traffic, and forget about Pinterest and stuff, we're on about news websites or industry websites, or fashion bloggers or community websites, then we're doing the right thing, because we're not just doing it for SEO. We're doing it because I want into your community, or your community has value for me. Of course, a lot of communities now are on Facebook in closed groups, which makes it harder, but forums are still a big thing. And a lot of Facebook group owners still like to run forums because you own the traffic, rather than being reliant on Facebook's algo. But yeah, I think as I said, everything has changed and nothing has changed. But this is why we have to accept the change. Like, if I want to sit here going, I still have my 5,000 web directories, they're all not indexed anymore. Why am I not making any money? Like, why am I so poor? Because you didn't change. Like, this industry changes every month. Like, there used to be obsession about featured snippets and P0. Now we rarely talk about them. So they're still there, but they are just so much. Maybe we spam them. Do you remember you can have the FAQ schema to your page, and you can start to get like big listings.
Now Google limited to only 2, so you're reliant on Google, right? It depends. It's still his ball, isn't it? He does whatever he wants.
Absolutely. And also because we are so competitive, we in English we would say we take the piss. Like we will always try and break the rules. Like if I can take extra space for my client at the expense of you, amazing. So yeah, that is what I believe. And then where do I think Google is heading with these recent updates? Like Google is cleverer than we think, but not as clever as Google thinks. I think that's a pretty good
one
explanation.
That's interesting.
And I think they're trying to get a better handle on like intent. So again, search query intent is a lot of what we speak about with our customers. And sometimes where you have cannibalization, where you might have a commercial page and a blog post, so a commercial and informational, I guess we would call them, and we are ranking 5 or 6. So we know we have the cannibalization. Everybody is tempted to go for the commercial page, like just redirect the blog into the category and we'll take all the money. But if the 5 spots ahead of us are also informational guides, then you are trying to fight a machine that doesn't want you in it. Like and again, luckily we have tools like Surfer, like Pop, which I highly recommend, that will help us analyze the front page using AI, machine language, NLP, whatever these abbreviations are. I don't buy into stuff like that. But what I want to know is, on average, how long should the content be? What should be the tone of voice of the content? Should it be, if I'm writing about a guide to build a cupboard, then I shouldn't be selling the cupboard. I should be giving informational videos and rich media and details that people actually want. And you know what? Every now and again, you will get a natural link from this content. Yeah. So you are, and if you start getting natural links, then you know that you are delivering the right content to the right people. So, and if Google starts to reward your content with high rankings, then I believe that you've got the search intent right, because Google feels that your page, according to its algorithm, and of course, nobody knows under that hood, and according to Google's algorithm, you are delivering the right information. And whether that's click-through, whether that's bounce rate, although I saw something online, I didn't read into it, but I think they removed bounce rate from GA4. So are they using that? I mean, I'm looking at my webcam, but I also have Chrome open. So they know what I'm searching, they know what I'm clicking. Android phones, everybody is logged in. They know where we are. They know who's clicking on what.
They're listening.
Oh, they are always listening. I can assure you they are listening. Not as much as Facebook, but everybody is listening. I have a Google device over there that if I said, okay, she's listening. But of course, she is always listening because she is waiting for me to say, okay. So I don't know, like maybe we should put the tinfoil on our heads, and or how's about this for a concept? Allow her to listen and receive better ads. Like if we're talking about, oh, I really want those cheap flights to Brazil so I can come and hang out with you guys. Maybe that means that I want some cheap flights to Brazil. It would be nice if they could show me an offer of cheap flights to Brazil. So I'm not against stuff like that. But yeah, I think more than anything, Google just wants to answer the question. More and more, they want to answer the question on their terms. So insert, which kicks ass. I mean, I'm glad I don't own whattimeIsit.com because that guy has no traffic anymore.
Zero click search.
I quite, yeah, like, and then that will never come back. Like Google, it's like saying, how old is Fat Ronaldo, not Cristiano? Like you are not going to they will show you the age in the search.
Yeah.
That's not going to
When
go
it's
away.
Christmas,
So,
when it's Easter and things like that. Yeah.
But Google programmed us. Like I sometimes feel like they are teasing a girl. So we are in the bar having a chat. They're like, hey guys, do you know about P0? You can answer questions and we will give you a reward. We will give you all the space on the page. And then you start dancing. She's getting bored. All of a sudden she says, I'm just going to take the data now. And I'm not going to show your website. But thank you for structuring your whole site in a way that my machine understands it. And now I don't need to reward you. So I think, hey, I'm not anti-Google, by the way. I think Google is a business.
I live on it.
And I also believe, like, because I'm a commercial guy, I'm not a believer in competition. Like Google kind of is a monopoly, but it's a monopoly because it's the best. Like surely Apple is a monopoly in I mean, either iPhone, like you can only buy iPhone or Android really now. So surely that is a monopoly. But we as the user, we choose to use it. Like I remember, I think a few years ago, the Australian government said, right, we're not going to let Google index our news for free. Google said, well, tell your people to use different search engines.
Yeah.
Like, why is it Google's fault that they are doing so well? But yeah, I think that more and more no-click searches are here to stay. I think though that if you think beyond the search, maybe you can get a video rant for it where they won't. I know that they are taking auto text from the videos and stuff now and transcriptions. This is the future. I also believe that Google is heading this way, whether me or you like it or not. Like we can sit here and bitch and moan about how why is this changing? What are we going to do? Well, it already changed. So you can sit there and watch your money run out, or you can change your approach and learn and read. With my team, we have 20 full-time employees in Europe, and we have 5 in the Philippines at the moment. And I value that they should spend half a day a week reading, like not just like the Bible or Jungle Book or something, like work reading. So whether it's SEJ or SEMrush blog or just join like SEMrush All Stars, like you could spend half a day just reading. You would learn some good stuff from what you see in the comments. And because as SEOs, we don't know what the rules are, the best way for us to learn is to speak to other SEOs. I love it when we hang out because you're working on some stuff, I'm working on some stuff. I believe, how's it going? Oh yeah, mate, we had the same problem and we did this and then it worked. Or you're like, oh my God, I'm stuck in position 6 and 7. And it's like, right, let's Google it. Right, let's try 301ing this to this for 1 week, see if we get an increase. Like we are a team, like we are almost. I don't think
community, isn't it? It's about sharing, because it's not us against the system, is it? But it is us against the system, against Google, but not in terms of against. Because what you said, Gareth, I couldn't agree with you more. It's like we use Google because we want. It's their service. They spend all the money with their servers, building the algos, technology, people around the world, Google Docs, Google Plexes, and so on. We choose to use it. So in the end of the day, all this antitrust thing, for me, is balls, because we choose to use it. They don't force us to use it. And for me, if anything, I'm glad that Google exists, because I could build my business around Google, around the service. And what I do is adapt to it. I try to understand, I try to, find ways to rank my clients and give visibility to them. One thing that I've been changing is, as the serves change, I try to offer different services. I offer to certain clients featured snippet optimization. So for every month, I'm going to optimize 10 pages that have potential to achieve that. And when I conquer that, hey, mission accomplished. Clients are happy. That generates traffic or visibility or even awareness. So I see myself adapting to what Google gives to me. And if one day all clicks, all searches are 0 clicks, then I'm going to find something else to do. Until then,
yeah, we will be retired by then, my friend.
There you go.
So we will be fine. We will be on the beach somewhere, hopefully, if all goes well. But I think that that does lead us quite nicely onto eat.
Yeah.
I do believe in eat as a concept. Now, there is so much disinformation about how you create eat, blah, blah, blah. You know, we can all make fake doctor profiles and pretend we are experts in an area, etc. We can buy drop domains from lecturers which are retiring, and we can try and fake the eat. But to be honest with you, and of course, not everybody can be the best in their industry, but I believe that if you are an expert and you have authority and you are trustworthy, you should be rewarded. Like in link building, there are there are millions of link builders, but only the cream will rise to the top. And the way that I feel that, I'm not saying I'm at the top, by the way, guys, maybe top 10, but I'm joking, I'm not that egotistical. Maybe somewhere near the top. And it's because I've been doing this for 15 years. I have expertise. I have spoken about this with provable case studies around the world. I have authority. It's still my face here. I have trust. So why should I not be rewarded as an expert in my area? Now, of course, don't forget, Google comes from academia, where it's very easy to work out who the expert is because you have citations in your academic papers and links from Harvard, Stanford, Brown, wherever universities, of course, universities outside of US as well. How do we build EAT if you are a taxi driver? Like there is still search volume for Manchester Airport taxi, which is the airport near my house. I remember when I used to do this search so long ago now. But how do you build that trust and authority when there is none? Like it would be very difficult to try and get that done. But then you just have to go local. Like, is the owner of the taxi company, does he have a LinkedIn profile? Because I bet that will put him ahead of most taxi company owners. I picked a bad example maybe with taxi companies.
Oh, no, I think it's a good example. It makes sense, the correlation, yeah, definitely.
And like the Google wants, so many years ago, Eric Schmidt said that brand will fix the cesspool that is Google. Like brands will rise to the top because they invest, they market, they have people, they try and be better. And a way of building your brand is trusted citations off social profiles for certain, not saying for everyone, but for certain things. So I know that the most taxi drivers in the town that I live in probably have Android 3.1 phones and just like have no visibility online. Why would Google, other maybe they've paid some
don't go too
SEO,
far, don't go to
$100.
LinkedIn. Most of them don't have their Google My Business profile verified.
Yeah.
That's the biggie. That's the given one there, right?
And how can Google trust I mean, okay, so maybe a different example, locksmiths. So Google has its home services algo, because obviously a locksmith is coming around to your house, drilling the door. Well, I don't want to ring up and say, hey, I'm outside Philip's house. Can you come around and drill the door for me? So again, how can Google trust to rank a website if you haven't even valid? I mean, we can even go down to HTTPS. Like if it's still on HTTP, what the hell are you doing? Like Google is telling your customers in the SERP, be careful. Like this guy is not trustworthy. He does not have expertise. He is not showing us authoritativeness. So why should they rank for him? The downside to this is that when we started out on our careers, the small guy could compete with the big guy in the SERP. So like your ovens and your stoves. Like there will be big retail stores all over the UK that sell millions and millions of pounds of these stoves. But because you had some skills that pay the bills, we like to call them, you could compete with these big companies with your small business. The downside now is some SERPs are just full of big companies. Like even if you are like niched down specialists, sometimes even the EMD won't rank. And that's a sign of eat for me. But I'm not against it. But then also don't forget, for many, many years, we had author rank, where we were all making Google Plus profiles.
The little photo, the SERP.
Yeah. So again, this isn't anything new. It's just that they almost, author rank is like V1. Eat is V2. I think they have this like again, this is even I am losing track of where the whole industry is up to these days. But is this V3? So I just think that this is just progress. Like the cream will rise to the top, and eat is just Google's confusing explanation of the cream will rise to the top, because Google gets paid off its users. So if the users aren't happy with what they're seeing, they're not going to come back. Well, they will come back because there's no other option. But you know what I mean? If we were a store on the high street and you tried to get in my store and I just kept shutting the door on you, you'll just go to the next one. So the experience has to be in line with what the user is expecting, because effectively Google is still the transport system to get the customer to your business. So they want to make sure that they're showing the right shops on the right high street to the right customers. And again, that some of that does come down to page experience and Core Web Vitals, which again, I feel like Core Web Vitals to me, do you remember Mobile Geddon, where if you didn't have a responsive site, like you were gonna,
15, right?
Yeah, you were basically gonna die. So we made loads of money because we just made all the websites we made for the last 10 years. Well, you need a new theme. So everyone, it was good money. Like and now we have this Core Web Vitals where, like with Mobile Geddon, everybody just wanted the mobile friendly label. That's it. Once your website is mobile friendly, they pay the bill. With Core Web Vitals, all you're doing is giving 1 million competitive marketers stores to manipulate. Like, hey, pay me $2,000 if I get you to 100% CWV, or I reduce your time to first pay, meaningful, pixel, whatever. Yeah, I just feel like you're causing us more work, which is good because we get paid off this work. But also, does it matter? I mean, they just delayed it again. Like, I get what. Okay, so 2 different reasons why we should give a good page experience in Core Web Vitals. Users, I don't want to wait. Like, and I know that they say it should be tested on 3G, whatever. Look, I don't have 3G. I have 5G. I have fiber internet, blah, blah. But I expect it to be instant. And page experience and improving your Core Web Vitals will do that. Like, I hope that all these VPSs for $5 a month go and die, because they're just the worst servers in the world. Like, they're just so slow. Like, you can sometimes have like 5 seconds till meaningful paint. So I see why, from the user's perspective, Google's trying to force us to make quicker, lighter sites. Of course, I'm going to put my selfish Google hat on and say, quicker sites, lighter code, less storage. So I bet Google, the cost to Google could be, or the saving to Google, sorry, could be, well, millions of dollars just by, I mean, wow, if you think that even if you put the JavaScript file as a separate file rather than in line, you reduce the page by half. Well, do that 1 billion times and you saved yourself a few server racks. And That has to be one of the reasons. I know that they will paint it as being, oh, it's for the user, of course, guys. We want to deliver the fast experience. And that's true. And my advice would be to ignore Google and focus on your user. So if you are delivering fast pages that deliver the right content in the right format, in the right tone of voice, then Google should reward you. So get your core web vitals right, because you want to deliver fast pages, not because some dumbass SEO says, oh, we are orange today, we need to be green. Like, you need to be green, not because the table says so. You need to be green because you will make more sales. Like I'm sure I read somewhere, it was like every 3 seconds load costs you 20% of conversions, because people aren't going to wait.
Part of the industry, right? I think, especially down here in Brazil, Gareth, I see a lot of that, people selling that as a service, and they fail to see the things the way you just pictured it. You know, it's not about core web vitals. It's about usability, performance, interaction, you know? It's about giving your users really what they really want, isn't it?
What it fundamentally comes down to, it's about conversion. Like, I am paid to sell things for my clients or for my own sites. We have a few of our own businesses that we call it skills that pay the bills. Like I said in the beginning, you will never be poor if you can make just basic websites. Like, you will always find a way to make a few dollars. Of course, you will always need to make sure you are not so poor you have to sell your laptop. But that's a different challenge. But I just genuinely believe that do it for the users, and that's it. That's what I think on that one. And then the last point that I wanted to cover off with you was links, of course. And I don't mean that in a sales bullshit way. We don't work in Brazilian market, so I'm here as a friend of you and a friend of the show, rather than trying to pitch my thing. Maybe our software tools will work in Portuguese, but that doesn't matter. Links are still important, because if you think that, if we go back to that it's citations from, if we go back to PageRank, it's citations, it's links. It is still, the internet is still so linked. Like, the whole purpose of it is to link pages together. So I don't think Google is, and hey, I could be wrong, and tomorrow they release the link-free engine. I don't know, but I believe
link-free engine. That is a term I'm gonna write it down here.
I like to give you more questions than answers, you know that. But I believe, and I'm backing my mortgage on it, because, you know, I have to buy my house, that links will still be here for a long time. I think, though, that Google is going to get better at relevancy, at locality, at again, EAT. Like, is there, and it kind of takes me back to what I said earlier. Is the site getting traffic? So if I'm going to do guest post on a site, is it getting traffic? Does that site have any EAT? Because really, if I'm looking to be the authority in my niche, and I like to work with people that want to be the authority in their niche, then I need to be getting links from where I would expect to get them from. So if you think about, if you were a retail store in a shopping center, well, only you can get a link from the shopping center website, because you have a physical store in the shopping center. I can't pull my cart outside the shopping center and get a worse shop. And then I was thinking, Don't
worry.
I can't then email the shopping center and say, hey, I'm squatting on the land outside your car park. Can you add me to your approved stores? Because you don't have the trustworthiness, like the
authority.
I also believe that, you are a pretend business in the shopping center. You're not a real business in that shopping center, and the link from the shopping center is like the validation that you have EAT versus the other website. Now, again, we all make good money doing link gap analysis and things like that. take the most authoritative sites in your niche and see where the commonality is, because there will be commonality, and it could be things like Chamber of Commerce, SEMrush agency directory. I see Hrefs just made agency directory if you've got an agency account now. Like if you are an author on SEJ, if you're an author on, I mean, again, okay, so in our industry, it's easier because we naturally write about stuff, we share stuff, we are online. Like my iPhone tells me I spend
let me interrupt you there, Gareth. You said one thing, SEO. For us, it's big. For me, it's my life. I live out of it. I think it's just sometimes people say, "Did you hear what happened in Miami? That building fell off." I said, "But did you hear about the Core Web Vitals update?" I know everything about it, and it's such a small industry that we think is massive, right? And there are so many opportunities. So when you're doing links for other industries, say fashion industry, sports, that's massive. There's so many options, isn't there? So, and people are stuck with that. Oh, I just need links for that blog. And there's so many other options to build links from other industries.
Always options.
Isn't it?
If you think about sportswear or sports equipment, then you know what? You can donate your dead stock to charity and get a link from charity website. So if I have, maybe I have a bad example, I'm wearing a plain white t-shirt today, but say I have 1,000 plain white t-shirts in my warehouse that I can't sell. Maybe white t-shirts are never out of fashion, but you can give them away. And then you can make some feel-good social content. You can make your employees feel better because you are showing them you are not a bastard, like you are a good employer. But you can also get a link from the charity website. With the sports equipment one, you can sponsor amateur teams. Like these amateur teams, like they look, they're not going to have high authority if you believe in metrics. But if I am a manufacturer of sports equipment and I'm based in Manchester, and I can get a link from a few Manchester football teams, and Google will know the address has Manchester on. Hopefully they have schemed it up so that we can say that it's Manchester. That is a good hyper local link that you can't buy, really. You have to be in the area to get it. And of course, my advice is that if you find a good link opportunity and they don't have schema implemented or they have HTTP, fix it for them. Like that will make your link so much more valuable. Like, guys, you can install Let's Encrypt for free and just set a cron job every 90 days to renew it. Yeah. Like that will take you, once you've got the script, and the pain will be get the bloody server logins, get WordPress logins. But once you've got the actual script written, you are adding, like, that sports club will feel like, oh my God, these guys helped us. Right, and they can then see the padlock rather than the not secure. And the odds are that the guy or the coach of the sports club that is doing this part-time alongside his job, he just doesn't know how to fix it. Whereas if you come along and fix it for him, maybe he will just leave you an open login for his website. You never know. But that's the sort of things that I think with links, really. Like, none of it is, like, even when we're building directories now, like, I think there is probably 5 to 10 directories in most industries that I even care about. And even some of those are just generic ones that we are doing for NAP, really, rather than the link. Because, like,
the citation, the real citation for your NIP and so on, the NAP, yeah. So one thing that we saw that's coming up, you mentioned in the beginning, sorry to interrupt you, that forums. We started doing in the UK, we can't do vaping in Brazil. It's prohibited, but they sell it, just like any other thing in Brazil. You can't have it, but they sell the shops. But in the UK, so we started doing the SEO for them, and obviously link building came to play. And we found out that there are a lot of forums that you can build really good links from. Forums that generate traffic, as you mentioned right in the beginning of your chat, that they add value. So why not use forums? Oh, because people say forums are not good anymore. That's balls. I think that you need to understand each ins and out of each niche and do what makes sense, isn't it? And I found out forums, forums is like 6-7 years or more that I don't use it. But I was looking into, as you said, gap analysis from other, and vaping is massive in the UK. Don't need to lecture you on that one. And I said, hang on, why are these guys having all these links in forums? Are they doing this low quality link building? And I found out they weren't. They were very valid forums, active, that generate traffic. So I think the way I see it is that you need to look for the opportunities, understand the ins and out of each niche. I think that's where you're leading, right?
Yeah, but it's also, like, go where your audience is. Like, if your audience are using forums to find out information, use forums. But I think the key for me is to not hit and run. Like, we can all register an account, drop a flipping link, disappear. Like, what you should do is increase the cost, but take your time. So maybe register with the forum, add a real picture, fill your bio, answer a few questions. Like, actually be a member of the forum. And like, I collect money. So I collect silver coins, gold coins, things like this. Not in my house, everyone. They're in my deposit box, so don't But I'm a member of a few silver coin forums, and I'm answering questions for people. And you know, forum software is better now. You can get alerts on it's just better. So I actually sell products and buy products in the forums. I'm getting trusted links to one of my coin websites from the forums that's sending traffic. Like, just don't do it for just the SEO, do it for the marketing, and the links should come. Because don't forget, in forums, people do share a lot of links. Like, oh my God, have you seen this? And it doesn't even have to be like crazy content. It could just be, oh, this guy did the same. And, oh, this guy had the same opinion or different opinion. And you will get links to it. And then if you can get, even if your link is just in your forum profile, like, it all comes down to this EAT. Like, I am trying to build authority in the bullion industry. And the best way to do that is to find the communities online and engage with them. Because that's what Google wants to do. Google wants the communities to engage with your website. So all we're doing is taking it a step back and engaging with the thing that will engage with our website. Like, the circle is complete. And that's why links are so important, because how else will we get there? Like, think of that. Without links, how the hell do we get there?
True.
Like, we can't. Unless I will type in, my Google Doc I have open now is /document/D/1QNTAYN. Give me a link. I need a link to click. So that links, I believe links will be here for a long time. How important they will be in the algorithm, your guess is as good as mine, mate. Honestly, I hope that for at least the next 10 years, they are the main reason. But who knows?
Yeah, just for another 10 years so we can retire, and then, you know what, whatever you want, Google, just do whatever you want, mate. I'm retired, so yeah.
I just need to make sure my children can go to university or do whatever they want to do. So if you could just give me till they get to university age, that would be amazing.
As long as even when I'm retired and SEO Rush continue to invite me to the after parties on Brighton SEO and so on, I couldn't care less if links are good or not. I just want a few free drinks. Oh, good. Gareth, very nice.
Something we can do.
Views that we do, and it's good for, obviously this I'm going to share with all my social network, so it's going not just for Brazil, but especially for the Brazilian SEO community. I think you share some very nice insights, and it's something that I have been also advocating here in Brazil. You know how important it is to focus on your audience, user intent, search intent. I'm pleased to hear that we kind of like, obviously we chat a lot along the years, and sharing this with the community is very, very valuable. Before we leave, any tips, insights for the SEOs down here that are like, that want to evolve? What would you give them as an advice?
Yeah, my advice would be that if you think you are comfortable, change. Because when you get comfortable, you get complacent. When you get complacent, you get lazy. And usually when Google hits your site because you are doing something wrong, it's not a gradual down. Like you are crashing. Like overnight, your traffic is gone. But if you get lazy and complacent and don't, like, you need to be reading and learning every day. Like this is such a, I never read as much at university as I do now, because I need to be on top of what is going on. Like, we are also, in Brazil, you have the advantage that you are on kind of same time zone as US. Here in the UK, all of the information comes out in my evening. Like, I'm just relaxing, having a beer, glass of wine, trying to speak to my girlfriend, play with my kids. And all of a sudden it's like, holy shit, there's been a big update, like get my laptop out. But if you don't like the fact that what we do changes, go get a different job, because you will be a terrible SEO is my conclusion there. And I think I said at the beginning, change will be a big part of this. And we've talked about how we change things to build trust, and we change things on how we do stuff, and we change how we measure stuff. You have to be never comfortable, never. Like, you can't be comfortable, because you will just forget something, or something will happen and it won't work well for you. So yeah, just stay on the ball, stay learning. Like, the fact that you are willing to listen to this channel and speak to you says that you are already better than most out there, because you are willing to learn. Like, the fact that you have listened, especially if you are still listening now, we are 1 hour, 9 minutes into our chat. So well done, guys. You should go and get yourself a beer. But you are already ahead of the curve, because you are still here now. You are learning from us now. I'm not saying I understand everything. The best thing you can do in SEO, get a few balanced opinions. And the best thing that you can ask, and not everybody will do this, is show me. Like, you are saying that you did this FAQ thing and I got 4 questions, not 2. Show me. Otherwise, you're just bullshitting. Like, the proof is in, like, everything we do is online. Like, you can go, oh, I'm doing this amazing campaign. I go, well, SEMrush says no. So, like, the
graphics going like that.
Like that. Yeah. And you're like, say, oh, we winning these awards. It's like, yeah, your customer is struggling. But yeah, just stay on the ball, keep learning. Change is going to happen. Change is good. There is, again, I'm the commercial guy. There is money in the chaos. Of course, there is money in the chaos.
Always, so, and a lot of money.
Yeah, and I know that's a horrible way, and I know that we started off with be the best at what you do, and the money will come. But the reality is, if there is a big update and I need to spend some time to learn how we fix the update or undo whatever we've done that's caused an issue, then I need to invest the time. And that's my time we can't get back. It's the worst resource in the world, time. It's gone. Gone. There is no grabbing it back. So you have to make sure that what you're learning is the right thing to learn, and not I don't know, there are some bullshit SEO personalities that just put out nonsense. Read those posts, but then take what you think you learned from it and do some further Googling to try and get a different opinion on it. Because not everyone, like, I have an opinion, you have an opinion, Mel has an opinion, Rand has an opinion, Danny Sullivan has an opinion, Barry Schwartz has an opinion. Who's right? I don't know. Like, maybe Danny Sullivan knows more than most of us, but the rest of us, we're just looking at our data and our stats and our experience and trying to figure it out. So don't take anybody as like one God voice. Like, I would definitely be looking at getting balance in what I'm reading and who I'm learning from.
Yeah. Danny Sullivan, that traitor, because he used to be on our side and now he's on this.
Yeah, you know what? I bet the Google pension is better.
Oh yeah. Well, who? You know what? If Google approaches me and said, "Do you want to come and work for hours?" Oh, definitely. Why not? My life would be much.
I would entertain a discussion, but it would take one hell of a package. Let's put it that way.
True. Oh, good. Great one, Gareth. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for accepting this invitation. I can't wait for us to get together again in person, have a few beers and
not long, mate.
It's coming. I think it's sooner we'll be able to have events again, presential events. And yeah, thank you very much for this 1 hour long chat, but very valuable. Yeah. You know, it's always a pleasure to have a chat and have someone sharing these similar ideas. As we said, I'm not going to say the same because we always differ and you emphasize that a lot. So, but you know, similar lines of thought, but what you said in the end was so valuable. I'm going to use it with my team a lot. Keep learning, keep studying. That's go. That's the most important thing.
You have to. Thank you very much, guys. And hopefully I will see you on a stage in Brazil soon, not in my living room. So
yeah, will do.
Philip, thank you for having me, mate. I will see you soon.
Thank you. E esse foi mais um episódio do Don't Panic, It's Organic, com Gareth Hoyle, diretamente da Inglaterra. E foi isso, galera. Muito obrigado.